Chevrolet Harley-Davidson Track Development, please welcome to the line, local boy, Mr. Zimmer. Keep an eye on this.
Yo, what's up guys, and welcome back to the fourth and final day of the Memorial Weekend of races in Iowa. This is the Quad City Crit, been around a long time, and it's the conclusion of a pretty tough weekend. And this is my hometown race, so I do everything I can to make sure I'm there, and I bring a full hit squad that we can show up and make something happen. Once again, theme of the weekend, there's another hill. It's really hot, tough course. Really ends up being a battle of attrition. This course just wears people down over time, and with it being the fourth day in a row of racing, it really all adds up, especially with the heat that we were battling all week. As you probably saw from my last video at Snake Alley. This course, 75 minutes. It's about a K long, and it's got a good little downhill. We're just making the top left turn coming out of the top section of the course, and this is the downhill. Gets going pretty fast, but it's kind of nice because you get a good little rest each lap with this downhill. Usually you're coasting. It's almost always faster to coast, even if you're off the front, you know, super tucking and stuff like that's more beneficial. You can conserve a lot of energy by doing it that way. It makes these bottom two corners pretty tight, and you can see you can just blast up to the side and get to the front with almost no effort. So it's a lot of bottlenecking and jamming on the brakes if you're at the back, but if you can stay at the front, it's 10 times easier to carry your speed through. It's a little rough on the outside there, and these stamped crosswalks always make it interesting each year. So one year somebody's cooler was dripping water out along all those stamped concrete sections, and it made it really slick. But luckily today, no rain in the forecast, just hot. And so that was a quick lap. You could see what the course is like. Our goal, last year we won this race, the solo move with about 10 to go with my old teammate George Simpson. We were kind of looking, we knew a break would make it, or we were hoping a break would make it. And so we were kind of just being attentive, just like the rest of the weekend, being attentive the first half of the race or so. I was really trying to conserve and not do any effort unless I saw a move that looked dangerous. Followed a few things kind of towards the middle of the race, but I really wanted to hang out towards the end. You can see we're 35 minutes in. Stuff kind of kept going, coming and going off the front. A few guys would make it a couple laps, and then the race would reset and they'd get caught. Just this hill just wears people out slowly, so it's always better to kind of do stuff later in this race. And combined with the heat, you can see everyone's getting bottles sprayed on them on the side, trying to keep cool. And this was kind of my first little effort of following a move of the day. I didn't really do anything up until this point. I was just waiting and kind of buying my time towards the second half of the race. And I knew this guy, Spencer, that he was strong, so I kind of just went with him and just kind of went by him on the descent and tried to see what everyone was feeling, or how everyone was feeling as well, by kind of sending a little flyer, mid-race flyer. I was absorbed, I think, on the next lap. I only made it, you know, half a lap or 3/4 of a lap before the race was all back together. This course, if you can ride it efficiently, it's nice to be on your own, actually. It hurts like hell, this hill. It's pretty steep, and the top corner is pretty tight, and you kind of get pinched off on the inside as well as the outside. This is kind of when we started to make stuff happen. Dennis and I are in this little group. I didn't even realize we were in a group. I kind of bridged up to it. Dennis was already up there, and I think there was 12 or 15 of us, something like that. And so I kind of attacked because I knew the move was going to come out of here if one was going to make it. So here I go, 48 minutes into a 75-minute race. People are starting to feel it, so I kind of test it out and give it a go. Give it everything I've got up this hill. Don't have much speed, and this part was killing me, just trying to get back up to speed. I was caught back up in this group, and once again, I still didn't realize the group was big enough that when I took a glance back, I didn't realize that we were still off the front, and we're going for a preem here, and this was kind of the move I was planning for the day. I knew they'd be calling preems late, and I let him take this preem, and I just kind of go right by him. It's always a good time to attack because everyone's thinking you're just going for just the preem, and then you're going to sit up and come back to the group. So I faked like I was going for the preem and just went through it. I had a pretty decent gap by the top of this hill, and from there I was just trying to recover a little on the downhill. I didn't know how long I was going to be out there, if anyone was going to bridge up. I made it probably 2 or 3 laps. I think 2 laps actually. I could see behind me that people were really getting antsy and trying to make something happen. Here, I'm going by the infamous party house out on the course. And right here I could see there was a Bissell guy trying to come across, and there he is. He made connection with me, and we kind of worked together for, I want to say like, had to have been 8 or 9 minutes that we were together, just us two. And we did a really good job working together. It was perfectly fine working with him, and he was doing some pretty big pulls, so that was appreciated. So I was happy to have the uphill section 2 to pull, because that section's hard regardless of whether you're drafting or by yourself. So I think I had the better end of the deal by taking the uphill, which is the position I wanted to be in. And so we're kind of getting yelled some time gaps. We were hovering at 15, 16, 17 seconds kind of the whole time. It seemed to never really come down a lot, and it didn't get any bigger than 20 seconds that I remember, that I can recall. We were working really well together. We knew after a lap or two we had established who's got what, so what sections to pull, so it was really fluid and quick and easy. And then we got caught by these 2 guys, a First Internet Bank and this other guy, so it was us 4. And after this, I knew the First Internet Bank guy was really good at sprinting. See our gap there, those guys had just come around the corner, last corner by the time we were going through the start finish. And the First Internet Bank guy, I knew who he was, and I didn't really want to take him to the line because I knew he'd win the sprint, as I really wanted to try to get away. You can see right there my power kind of spiked. I was really thinking about trying to go again, but I kind of second guessed myself and didn't. So you can, we're not working that well together. We kind of were. It seemed like everyone was kind of just faking it, that we weren't fully going full gas for it. And here we're coming into 1 to go, and you can see I'm looking back. The group's already just obliterated and have caught us. The gap came down super fast. Texas Roadhouse was chasing us, and at that point, that was my race. I was pretty fried. You can, as it was single file, so you knew they were giving her the beans coming in this last lap. And I just swung wide, tried to make it up this hill, but they were just going way too fast. My teammate Dennis just whizzed by, so we had somebody up there in a good spot. And it's always so hard going in the last lap up this hill. You can see people are just detonating left and right, gaps everywhere. All these guys, their races is over. There's no way you're getting back up there. Downhill's too fast. You can only go single file through those turns. And here's the finish. First Internet Bank rode super well. They went 1-3. And they had the guy in the break, so that was they played their cards really well that day. We had Scott coming in for 9th. Here I am giving some high fives to the home crowd. It's always fun, even though we didn't win. It's a good weekend. Good conclusion to 4 hard days of racing. And I was pretty blown. It was so hot. Just had nothing in the tank left to try to hop onto that last little bit. Giving some more high fives and rolling up to my family, and my girlfriend's family were all there watching, so it's a good hometown race. I can't wait till next year. One of these days I'm gonna win this race.